Hey everybody, it's Holly from the Urban Homesteader, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you can actually harvest even more honey out of your wax cappings. So this is a project that Carrie kind of turned me on to last year. It was the first time that I had done it. And I've already made some tweaks to my process. Last year I did this using a jelly jam strainer thing. Didn't love it, so this year I'm going with a cheesecloth option, and it seems to be working pretty well. So you would be shocked at how much honey is actually in the wax cappings. It is a little mind-blowing, and this is what I've gotten done so far. I imagine I'm probably going to have a half gallon. That's my guess looking at this container, but we'll see. You never know. So how this process works is you've got the wax cappings that you've taken from the frames. I strain it using a metal colander over a bowl. The honey drips out. The wax then gets dried up in here, and then I save this wax and put it in this bucket for later on. Then I'm taking the honey that's in here, I'm straining it again, putting it in the cheesecloth, through the cheesecloth. This is just a single layer, which is actually kind of a double layer, because when you just take it off the little container here, the packaging, you know, it's a double layer cheesecloth. Once I have this process done through once, from like this honey to this honey, going through this double layer, I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do a quadruple layer of cheesecloth just to get all of those particles out of there. I want it as clean as I possibly can. So right now, I guess I'm going to start the process. So since I've already started this, I'm going to dump out this honey into here because my bowl is getting kind of full. So full that like the strainer hits the honey on the bottom, and then you can't strain anymore. So we need to kind of catch up. So I'm going to simply pour this into the jar. This can be a little tricky if you don't have a spout on your bowl. And you might be able to only just do so much until it seeps through a little bit. And we're going to let it just kind of do that. Once you start, this is a brand new piece of cheesecloth. Once you start it, it goes a lot quicker. All right, we're just going to let that settle through. It's already starting to drip through. I want to get a lot more honey out of this bowl so I can continue using it. So I'm going to let it kind of strain through and drip through for a little bit here, and then we'll do another dump. By the second pour, it should be kind of streaming through a lot better than this. So give it a minute. So that didn't take too long. It is still draining through there, but it's moving pretty quickly. I'm going to pour a little bit more out just so we can move on, and I can show you guys how this looks through the whole entire process. Okay. So now I've got enough honey out of this bowl that I should be able to use my strainer, and the strainer shouldn't hit the top of the honey. So we're going to just move on with this process. And actually I'm going to move this out of the way. This again is that dried wax that we're really not going to be needing until it's done straining out of here. So we're going to move that aside. We're going to move this as close as we possibly can to the bowl, because every time I scoop out of here, I drizzle honey on things, so keep that in mind. This is not necessarily a unsticky situation for sure. That's it. We're just scooping this out. And this contains all sorts of things that just were on the hive frame. You might even find some bee bodies in there, so we're doing the best that we can to get those impurities and things that we don't want in our honey obviously strained out or filtered out. So when we spin the honey over at Carrie's place, we run it through 3 filters that sit actually within a 5-gallon bucket. It's pretty slick. There's a coarse, a medium, and then a fine, and they just kind of sandwich into each other. It's pretty cool, and then it's been filtered 3 times, and that's it. Then we jar it. like I said, you'd be so surprised at how much honey is actually in these wax cappings. I'm always looking for the right time to move it because I don't want to spill things. So another thing to keep in mind, like I don't like to fill my strainer up entirely because at some point, so usually like I'll let it sit for like this for a day. And then after that one day, I kind of want to stir it without cramming the wax into the holes of the colander. And so when you want to stir it, you don't want this thing to be so full that when you're stirring, it's gonna spew wax out into your clean bowl of honey. We don't want that, so kind of keep that in mind too. I'm gonna probably do one more spoonful in here and just let it drip out. This is definitely a project of testing your patience. It takes a long time, and I have caught myself just standing here watching this stuff drip out into the jar. I don't know, it's kind of just mesmerizing to me. But it's also satisfying at the same time. So keeping that in mind. So you can see I've got honey dripping out of here. We're gonna take this honey, pour it in here, filter it, and then finally jar it. So that's it, you guys. Pretty easy. I'd recommend having a wet, damp washcloth with you. You'd be surprised how many times you'll need that. But anyway, pretty easy. You should have all these tools at your convenience at your house, and it's just that easy. This is how much honey you're gonna get that you didn't know that you maybe were gonna throw away. So don't throw it away. And then when the wax is done, we're gonna go into rendering, and that'll be a whole nother video. So thanks for watching. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It really does help me support my channel, and I do appreciate that. So we'll see you at our next adventure. Thanks so much for watching.